Previously on Game Gengo.
ほんの肩慣らしだ。
後ろ向きだな。仕事探しがてらどう？
Hello everyone and welcome to episode 24 of Game Gengo for Final Fantasy VII Remake. So in this episode, it's kind of a special episode. We have a bonus scene with Cloud and Tifa, and this is after completing all of the missions in chapter 3. So let's have a look at this bonus scene. In this episode, we're going to be learning over 50 new words and also quite a bit of new grammar. So let's have a look at this episode.
今日の報酬は店へ行けばいいのか？
うん。でもその前にアパートに戻らない？少し休もうよ。
スラムの心得。
その1ね。じゃあ行こ
う。おや、ずいぶん早いお帰りだね。ちょうどよかった。自分の部屋のフィルターを交換しておくれ。部屋に置いといたよ。
はーい。
何でもやはお待ち。これは依頼だよ。ティファと仲良くするんだ。
あ、しているつもりだ。
うわっつらだけだな。そんなのはね、吐いて捨てるほどいるんよ。あいつらとは違うんだろう。粋な。
先にフィルターを交換しちゃおう。
あ
あ。終わったら来て。待っててね。急いで終わらせるね。できた。聞かせて。村を出てからのこと。
え？
約束したよね。ほら、自警団のところで。
ああ。
ん？
戦争中、ソルジャーは英雄扱いだった。
うん。毎日ニュースを見てた。
でも、俺がソルジャーになった頃には、状況が変わっていたんだ。憧れていたような仕事はなくて、神羅のために働く、ただの、
ごめん。話したくないよね。
うん。剣を使う仕事だ。久しぶりに会ってするような話じゃない。
うん。わかるよ。でも、不思議だね。お別れしたあの時、あの場所から、うんと離れたこんなところでまた会えるなんて。そうだ、再会のお祝いしよう。うんとおしゃれして。
おしゃれ？
私だってするときはするよ。
服あるのか？
ないけど用意するの。どういうのがいいかな？
大人っぽいの。
お互い年取ったもんね。私と釣り合う服を選んでね。
わかった。
楽しい計画っていいね。
ああ、いいな。
さて、楽しい気分になったところで店行こうか。
休まなくていいのか？
時間もったいなくて。マーレさんには内緒。マーレさん、フィルターは交換したよ。また店に行くね。
いってらっしゃい。おや、ずいぶんご機嫌だね。
そう？別に普通だよ。
やるじゃないか。いい顔だ。これからも頼むよ。今後の分まで先払いしとく。頼んだよ。
今日の報酬は店へ行けばいいのか？
So starting off this episode here, Cloud is asking about his reward, and so he's saying, should we go to the shop to get my reward? And so he says, 今日の報酬は店へ行けばいいのか? So 今日の報酬は so as for today's reward, 店へ to the shop 行けばいいのか? Should I go? So is it right that I go? Is it good that I go? Should I go?
でもその前にアパートに戻らない？少し休もうよ。
Yeah, but first, why don't we go back to the apartment? Let's rest a little. でもその前に so yes, その前に before that, アパートに戻らない? Why don't we go back to the apartment? 少し休もうよ. So 少し means a little bit, and then 休む means to rest. So that's the only new word that we have here is 休む, to rest, to take a break. So 休もう, let's rest.
スラムの心得。
The rules of the slum, スラムの心得.
その1ね。
Rule number 1, right? その1, so rule number 1.
じゃあ行こう。
Well, let's go. じゃあ行こう。
おや、ずいぶん早いお帰りだね。
Oh, you're home considerably early. おや、ずいぶんとお早お帰りだね。So here we have oya, that's showing surprise. Oh, okay, oya. Zuibun to. So zuibun means very or considerably. So you are considerably early. Hayai. However, it's o hayai because she's being polite. Okay, so zuibun to or hayai. And so hayai can mean quick or fast, but it could also mean early, as in early in the day. And so that's what she's referring to here, early in the day for hayai. Or kairi dane. Or kairi, again, she's being polite, but kairi just means to have returned home. So you're back home quite soon. Zuibun to or hayai or kairi dane.
ちょうどよかった。
Just in time. ちょうどよかった. So ちょうど is just right, and then よかった was good. So it's just perfect. ちょうどよかった. Perfect timing or perfect size or perfect length.
自分の部屋のフィルターを交換しておくれ。部屋に置いといたよ。
Could you replace the filters in your rooms? I've put them in your rooms. So 自分の部屋のフィルターを交換しておくれ. So 自分の部屋 your own room, and then we have filter, the filter を交換する to exchange, but it's in the しておくれ means to go and do something in advance for me. So we have しておく to do in advance, and then we have くれる to do for me, and then くれ in the short form. And so she's saying, in advance for me, replace it. So 交換しておくれ. 部屋に置いといたよ. So 部屋に in the room, and then 置いといた. So 置く means to place, and then this 置いといた, again, we're seeing a lot of this, in preparation or in advance. 置いといた means I put it in advance for you. I've already put it there for you.
はーい。
Okay, hi. And so just a quick thing about this. Hi, if you have a look, in the middle between the ha and the e, you have this squiggly line. Now, this, when it's just flat, is used to lengthen the sound of something. So instead of just hi, it would be hi, right? However, it has this squiggly line. Now, this is just adding a little bit of personality to it, a little bit of, happiness to it. So instead of just saying hi, right, it's kind of like hi, right? That kind of happiness. That's what that squiggly line is actually expressing. So you'll see this very commonly, often used in between things or at the end of certain words, and it just adds a little bit of happiness to it or a little bit of personality to it. It can also mean from. So if it was, for example, like 5 squiggly line 10, it would be from 5 to 10. So that's also used in that way.
何でもやはお待ち。
Wait up, Mr. Handyman. Nandemoya wa omachi. So Nandemoya we've seen is the handyman, the guy who works around, the kind of, mercenary type thing. As for you, as for Mr. Handyman, omachi. So she uses this o in front of words quite a lot. She's just being very, polite. But just machi by itself means to wait, right? So you're the one who's going to be waiting. Nandemoya wa omachi.
これは依頼だよ。ティファと仲良くするんだ。
This is a request. Make good friends with Tifa. And so she says, これは依頼だ. So これは as for this, and then 依頼. So 依頼 is a request, an order. So she has something to request of Cloud. これは依頼だよ. This is my request. Tifa と with Tifa 仲良くするんだ. So 仲良く here means to be on good terms with someone. It could also mean to get along well with, or to, be good friends with someone. So she's saying, I want you to get close with Tifa.
しているつもりだ。
And then Cloud gets all kind of shy and he's like, I intend to already be doing that. Right? So shiteiru, to be doing, and then tsumori is showing his intention, and then da, it is. So it is that I'm intending to already be doing that. Shiteiru tsumori da. And so in the English version he says a really similar thing. He says, look, we're already friends, right? I'm already intending to do that.
うわっつらだけだな。そんなのはね、吐いて捨てるほどいるんよ。
It's just on the surface, right? Things like that are a dime a dozen. So here she's teaching us 2 new phrases actually. We have uwatsura. So uwatsura means appearances. It's on the surface. So she has uwatsura dake daro. So it's just the surface, right? It's just on a surface. It's just appearances, right? Uwatsura dake daro. Sonna no wa ne. Things like that are, So sonna no wa, as for those kind of things, wa ne, we have, she's going to be teaching him something. And then the next phrase that she teaches us is haite steru hodo. So this is a combination of 3 different words. We have haite, we have steru, and we have hodo. However, when used together, it's just a phrase. It's an expression saying a dime a dozen, right? So it doesn't really mean anything. It's just, dime a dozen. It's easy to get. It's worthless, right? And so she's saying that, that kind of surface level is, not, what she wants. Now in the English version, she goes way off course. She says, so when she talks, are you really listening? Thinking about her and her feelings? So that's way different. She's getting all of a sudden way too close and personal with Cloud, saying, are you really listening? So not a big fan of that one.
あいつらとは違うんだろ？行きな。
I like this Japanese though. あいつらとは違うんだろ? Ikina. So あいつらと, so she's saying that guy or that girl, so her, right? With her, あいつらと, to wa, so as for with her, 違うんだろ? It is that it's different, right? So it's not just a surface level feelings, right? It's more than that, right? 違うんだろ? It's different. Ikina. So here she's kind of ordering him, go, right? Go, make good friends with Tifa. This is interesting because she's, being kind of ordering, but I'm taking it across as she's saying something a bit suspicious. I don't know, that's just my impression. She's saying, go, make her a happy girl, right? That's my impression that I'm getting right now. But in the English, again, she says, or are you just going through the motions? What? What do you mean? Like he's a player or something and he's just going through the motions of, being nice? I don't understand the English translation here at all. Like, just where did that come from? Are you really paying attention to her? Or are you just going through the motions? Okay.
先にフィルターを交換しちゃおう。
Let's go replace the filter first. So saki ni, firstly, filter o, we're doing something with the filter, 交換しちゃおう. So let's completely, get it out of the way. Let's do it.
ああ
Sure.
終わったら来て。
When you're finished, come over. 終わったら来て. So 終わったら when you are finished or when it's over, 来て, come.
できた。
Finished! Dekita. So we've seen dekita means to be able to do something, but here it actually means to have finished something, to complete something. So when you say, dekita means you finished working on something, you finished making something, you finished a task. Dekita.
聞かせて。村を出てからのこと。
Okay, so we have a nice, close, intimate conversation here with Tifa. We have a big, beautiful upshot. The lighting in this room is really good. Anyway, so here she says, so tell me about after you left the village. So kikasete means to let someone hear. So we've seen this verb form before, which means to let someone or to make someone do something, right? Like ikaseru, to let someone go or make someone go. Kikaseru means to let someone hear or to make someone hear. Kikasete, tell me, mura o dete kara no koto. So mura o dete kara, since leaving the village, no koto, about it.
え
約束したよね。ほら、自警団のところで。
Damn, this room has such freaking good lighting. It looks, I wish the whole game looked like this. It's so pretty. Anyway, so she says, you promised, right? Come on, at the Vigilante Corps. So, 約束したよね。ほら、自警団のところで。So, 約束した means that you have promised. And then we have hora, look, or come on. And then jikeidan no tokoro, the place of the vigilante corps or the kind of neighborhood watch that they've got going on. So in the Japanese, she's saying, come on, you promised, you're going to tell me. But in the English version, she says, look, I let you off the hook before back at the hall, but not this time. So she's coming off a little bit more pushy here in the English version, saying, look, I allowed you to not say anything last time, but this time you're telling me.
ああ。戦争中、ソルジャーは英雄扱いだった。
Sure, during the war, soldiers were treated like heroes. So, 戦争中. So, 戦争 here is the war, and then 中 here means during. So, during the war, 戦争中, ソルジャーは as for the soldiers, 英雄扱いだった. So, 英雄 is the hero, 扱い is treatment. So, being treated like a hero. 英雄扱い. And then we have だった means it was. So, soldiers were treated like heroes during the war. 戦争中、ソルジャーは英雄扱いだった. And so in the English version, rather than talking about how they were treated, the soldiers, they were treated like heroes, instead he talks about how kids wanted to be like them, right? So saying how, sought after, people wanted to be soldiers when they were kids.
毎日ニュースを見てた。
Yeah, I saw the news every day. 毎日ニュースを見てた. So 毎日 every single day. 毎 always and then 日 is the day. So every day 毎日ニュースを見てた. So I saw the news. 見てた means, a continuous in the past.
でも、俺がソルジャーになった頃には状況が変わっていたんだ。
But around when I became a soldier, the situation changed. でも、俺がソルジャーになった頃には状況が変わっていたんだ. So, でも, however, 俺がソルジャーになった頃, so here we have a koro or goro, depending on whether it's connected to a word. So, when I became a soldier, or around the time I became a soldier. ソルジャーになった became a soldier. Koro or goro means around the time, niwa. So as for regarding around the time I became a soldier, 状況が変わっていたんだ. So 状況 is the state of affairs, the situation, the circumstances. 状況が変わっていたんだ means that the circumstances have changed. They became changed, right? In the English version, he says though that thing is, by the time I finally made it in, they didn't need heroes anymore. So in the English version, he actually puts a little bit more description into exactly how the situation changed, rather than just, ambiguously saying that the situation changed.
憧れていたような仕事はなくて、神羅のために働くただの
It wasn't the job that I longed for. It working for Shinra, just So, 憧れていたような仕事はなくて. So, 憧れる means something that you long for or yearn for or even work towards, right? Something that you want to become. 憧れていたような仕事. So, a job that is like something that I longed for はなくて. It wasn't that. シンラのために働く. Working for the sake of Shinra. ただの merely a.
ごめん。話したくないよね。
I'm sorry. You don't want to talk about it, right? ごめん。話したくないよね. So ごめん, I'm sorry. 話したくない means you don't want to talk. And so 話す means to talk. So we've seen 話, the story, but 話す is actually the verb of speaking, talking, telling. So you don't want to talk about it. 話したくないよね.
剣を使う仕事だ。久しぶりに会ってするような話じゃない。
It's a job to use your sword. 剣を使う仕事だ. So using your sword, 剣を使う, and then 仕事. So describing what kind of work it was, just using your sword. So he's saying that, look, it was just killing people pretty much. It's not a conversation for meeting someone after a long time, right? So 久しぶりに会ってするような話じゃない. So 久しぶりに means, you know, for the first time in a long time, right? 久しぶり, it's been a long time. 久しぶりに会って, so it's, you know, we haven't met in a long time. するような話じゃない. So it's not a kind of talk to do such a thing. Now in the English version, he says not exactly small talk, especially with someone you haven't seen in a while. And so, you know, it's talking about pretty similar things, especially the last part where, you know, it's not really a conversation to talk about someone. However, in the English version, he doesn't say that, you know, the job was about killing people. But in the Japanese, he does. Ken o tsukau shoto da.
わかるよ。でも、不思議だね。
Yeah, I understand, but it's mysterious, you know? So, わかるよ, I understand, demo, however, and then we have 不思議. So, 不思議 means mysterious or wonderful or miraculous, right? It could also mean strangely enough or for some odd reason. So here she's saying, look, you know, it's mysterious, and then she's going to explain what. So for some reason, you know, it's kind of funny because
お別れしたあの時、あの場所から。
that time when we parted from that place. お別れしたあの時、あの場所から. So お別れ means to part, to farewell. お別れ, bye bye, お別れ is just turning into an honorific noun. お別れしたano toki, that time, ano toki, so the time that we parted, ano basho kara, from that place. Ano, that basho, place, kara, from, so from that place. In the English version though, she says us going our separate ways, thinking that must be it.
うんと離れたこんなところでまた会えるなんて。
So very separated. And then to be able to meet again in a place like this. So unto means very much, a great deal. So a great deal of, you know, having been separated. Hanareru. So that's the next word we have here, to be separated. So they were together, then they owakare, they parted, and now they are separated, and that is hanareru. So hanareta, they were, you know, very much separated. Unto hanareta. Then we have konna tokoro de. So at this kind of place, konna tokoro, this kind of place, de, at, mata, again, aeru nante. So aeru is the potential form of ao, to meet. So to be able to meet, nante, such a thing as. So to think that we could meet in a place like this. Konna tokoro de, mata aeru nante. And so she just described what it is that was fushigi, what it is that was mysterious, right? To the fact that they met again in a place like this after being separated so far away.
そうだ。再会のお祝いしよう。うんとおしゃれして。
I know, let's celebrate our reunion and get really dressed up. Soda, I know. And then saikai no oiwai here is to like kind of celebrate, oiwai. So oiwai is celebration. So let's celebrate oiwai shio. What are we celebrating? Saikai. Saikai no oiwai. The celebration of meeting up again. Unto oshare shite. So again, we see this unto. So she's saying that they were very much separated. Unto hanarete. And now she's saying unto oshare shite. So now with a great deal, let's get all dressed up. So oshare can be like very like cool and stylish, right? And so she's saying, let's, get all cool and stylish. Let's kind of dress up. Let's look nice. Oshare shite.
おしゃれ
Oshare? Dressed up? Or in the English version, really?
私だってするときはするよ。
There are times when even I do it. So, watashi date, even me. So this date is a new word. This is exactly the same as demo, saying even me, watashi demo. However, this is the more casual way of saying it. So, watashi date. Even I, suru toki wa suru yo. Suru toki means the time when you do it. And then suru means I'll do. So, I do it when the times that we do it, right? There are times when I do it. In the English version, she says, why not? It'll be fun. So, it's kind of, the same thing.
服あるのか
Do you have any clothes? Fuku aru no ka? So fuku here is a new word meaning clothes. So this is fuku. Now fuku you would see very often in a dictionary definition. It always says clothes, especially Western clothes. That's because there is actually a word for more Japanese style clothes, and fuku came from that. But now it's usually just used for all clothes because we don't really make that distinction between, unless you're dressing up, we don't usually make that distinction. So just clothes, fuku. Fuku aru no ka? Do you have those clothes?
ないけど用意するの。
I don't, but I'll prepare some. Nai kedo. So nai, don't have any. Kedo, however, so I don't have any, but yoi suru no. So yoi here is a new word meaning to prepare. So I will arrange some. I will prepare some. Yoi suru no. So the no particle at the end is the feminine explanation. If you just think about it with this, gender thing, it can get complicated sometimes. But for males, usually you only put no at the end of a sentence if it's a question. Any other time, it might be a little bit feminine.
どういうのがいいかな？
I wonder what kind would be good. どういうのがいいかな? So どういう means what kind of. So what kind of, and then どういうのが means what kind of, referring to the clothes. どういうのがいいかな? I is good, kana is I wonder or I guess. So I wonder what clothes would be good. どういうのがいいかな?
大人っぽいの
And so we have 3 selections, and I've chosen the top one, and it says otana poi no. So otona is an adult, poi is resembling or like, so otana poi is kind of adult, right? Or mature.
お互い年取ったもんね。
And so Tifa makes a comment because I chose mature clothes, kind of adult clothes. She says, we've both aged, we've both gotten older, and so that's why, maybe you want me to wear something more mature. So otagai means each other, one another. So we have both done something. Otagai, each other. Otagai toshi tota. So toshi toru is a very common way of saying to get age, to take an age. So for people who first learn Japanese, you might learn that furui means old. However, we don't use that for people, okay? It's very, very rude. You don't call someone furui, okay? You just don't do it. However, if you want to call someone aged, this is a little bit more polite way of saying it. There are more polite ways, but this is a little bit more polite to say toshi tota. You have taken some years, right? You are aged. This is a normal way of saying age. So for people. So otagai toshi totta mon ne. And then mon is saying that it is the case that, right? It's something that is the truth, right? So it is true that, or it is the case that, we have both gotten a bit older. Otagai toshi totta mon ne. Or in the English version, yeah, I guess we're not kids anymore.
私と釣り合う服を選んでね。
Pick an outfit that balances with me, okay? So watashi to, with me, tsuriao fuku. So tsuriao means to balance, to kind of have an equilibrium, tsuriao, so to be in good match. And then tsuriao fuku, fuku again we know is clothes, so clothes that match, tsuriao fuku o erande ne. So erabu is another new word, and it means to choose or select. So when you make a selection, right, you have a bunch of sentakushi, a bunch of choices, you choose erabu. So you choose the selection, right? So I chose the first sentakushi, the first choice. So erabu is to choose. So choose clothes that go well with me.
わかった
got it. Wakatta. So wakatta, I understand, I got it.
楽しい計画っていいね。
The lighting in this room is so freaking good. I want the whole game to look like this. We just need dark rooms with really nice lighting for the entire game. Anyway, fun plans are great, aren't they? So 楽しい計画っていいね. So 楽しい is fun, enjoyable. 計画 here is a plan. So fun plans. 楽しい計画. And then we have て. So this is quoting something. So she's referring to the fun plans. They are いいね. They are good. So, fun plans are good, aren't they?
ああ。いいな。
Was this the first time Cloud has smiled? It may be. He did do a kind of smoldering smile at Jesse when the bombs went off, when he jumped off and, landed, didn't fall down. But this might be the first time he's kind of smiled. So this is, a moment where we're having Cloud as the cold guy who's not connected with anyone, but we see this connection with Tifa and we see that, life's been tough. There's been some dark stuff in the past, but let's dress up and, have some fun. And so you can see that even he is kind of looking forward to that. And so he says, Ina. Yeah, it's great. In the English version, though, they still want to make him sound a little bit cold. And they say, yeah, maybe. So he doesn't want to admit, right? He doesn't want to admit that, he thinks it would be fun.
さて、楽しい気分になったところで店行こうか。
Well now that we have become in a good mood, let's go. Sate, well now, and then 楽しい気分になったところで. So 楽しい気分, tanoshi is fun, right? And then kibun is a new word, and this means a feeling or a mood. So ki actually means, your actual feelings, and bun can mean like a kind of part of something. You put it together, your feelings, kibun. So the way that you feel, kibun ga ii, right? So tanoshi kibun ni natta, we have become in a good mood. Tokoro de, so now that we have done this, mise ikoka. Mise to the shop, ikoka, let's go. And so in the English version she says, and on that happy note, I think it's time we headed back to the bar. Come on.
休まなくていいのか?
It's okay to not have a rest? Yasumanakute ii no ka? So yasumu, we've learnt this word in this lesson, and that means to rest. Nakute ii means, is it okay that you don't? Naku means to not do. Yasumanai, to not rest. Yasumanakute ii, is it okay to not rest? No ka, and then questioning.
時間もったいなくて。マーレさんには内緒。
Okay, so we have a kind of, intimate scene. This is a kind of a special bonus intimate scene between Cloud and Tifa, a little bit flirtatious. And so she says that, look, it's a waste of time. Let's keep it a secret from Mal. So, jikan mottai nakute. Jikan mottai nai. So, jikan is time, and then mottai nai is a really common expression in Japan to say that it's a waste, right? So let's say you have a plate full of food, you don't feel like eating it and you throw it all away. That is mottai nai. It's a waste. And it's a big deal in Japan. People don't like wasting things. So mottai nai is that word here. Jikan mottai nakute. It's a waste of time. Mare-san ni wa, as for Mal, naisho. It's a secret. So naisho here is the word for, keeping a secret. Let's keep it a secret. Naisho ne. So this time, the Japanese version is actually more flirtatious than the English. Because in the Japanese, she's like, let's keep it a secret. But in the English, she says, honestly, I'm feeling pretty good. Mal isn't always right, referring to Mal, that's not very flirtatious. She's just saying that, Mal's not always correct. So it's interesting where usually we've seen where the English version has actually been more flirtatious than the Japanese. However, in here, we got a little bit of flirtatious in the Japanese as well.
マーレさん、フィルターは交換したよ。また店に行くね。
Mal, we exchanged the filters. We're gonna go back to the shop now. So, Mare-san, Mal, filter wa koukan shita yo. We have replaced the filters. Mata mise ni iku ne. We're going back to the shop.
いってらっしゃい。おや、ずいぶんご機嫌だね。
Take care. Oh, you're in quite a good mood, aren't you? So, itterashai is a thing that you say when you say goodbye to someone, like at your neighbors. You say, go have a nice day, see ya, right? Take care, itterashai. And then she says, oya, Oh, 随分ご機嫌だな. So 随分 means, considerably, quite a lot. And then this ご機嫌, this means to be in good spirits, to be in a good mood. So she's saying, oh, you're in a good mood, aren't you, Dane, aren't you? So, ooh, look who's in a good mood. In the English version, she says, take care, you two. Oh, you're looking pretty chipper. So, old lady speech, but, chipper, being in a good mood.
そう？別に普通だよ。
Oh, is that so? Not particularly, just normal. So, so, is that so? Betsuni, so not particularly. Futsu dayo, which is just normal. So betsuni and futsu, really common language, and we're both looking at it first here. In Japanese, this is so common, especially with young people. They love to say futsu or betsuni or futsuni. It's really common language. So betsuni means not particularly, right? So what they said, you're denying and saying, yeah, not really, betsuni, right? So no, not really, betsuni. And then futsu is normal, right? It's just normal. It's just how it always is, right? So not particularly, I'm not in a good mood. I'm just normal, right? Betsuni, futsu dayo.
やるじゃないか。いい顔だ。これからも頼むよ。
So here Mal is saying that she's happy with Cloud's what he's done in the room. So she says, not half bad, hey, yaru janai ka. She's all smiles, ii kao da. I'm counting on you from here on. Korekara mo tanomu yo. So if we have a look, yaru janai ka means not bad, right? Yaru means that, you can do it. Janai ka, isn't it that? So isn't it that you can do it? Not half bad. And then we have ii kao da. So ii kao here is showing that, she's all smiles. She has a good face, right? She's in a good mood. Ikao, being all smiles. And then we have korekara mo, also from here on, tanomu yo, I'm depending on you. So again, this is interesting. The Japanese is more flirtatious than the English. Now, Mal's not flirting, but she is kind of suggesting that Cloud's done something to get Tifa in a good mood. I'm not saying what that could be, but you go up to a room together, you made her a good mood. She could be suggesting that, he's done something romantic, maybe, perhaps. So in the English version, that doesn't exist. She just says, must be my imagination then. Anyway, keep your wits about you, Merc. So, all right. Why? I'm not sure. Like, the English has no problem with being flirtatious and hinting at things. They've already hinted at it so much. So here, the Japanese is kind of hinting at that kind of stuff. So why doesn't the English follow? Maybe they've decided it's too much. I don't know. But they decide not to have Mal suggest that Cloud's done something to put Tifa in a good mood.
今後の分まで先払いしとく。頼んだよ。
I'll pay you in advance for this time round. I'm counting on you. So, kongo no bun, this time's amount, made, up until, sakibarai shitoku. So, sakibarai means to pay in advance. Saki, earlier, harao, to pay. Sakibarai, to pay in advance. Shiteoku, to do something in advance. So, I'm going to pay you in advance. Sakibarai shitoku, tanonda yo. And again, I'm counting on you. Now, in the English version here, she has a little bit of, that consideration for Tifa, and she says, this is a token of my appreciation, be good to her. So it's interesting. That was a very kind of flirtatious episode in Japanese. However, a lot of the flirtatious stuff was actually just kind of ignored in the English version, which is interesting, right? I'm not sure why they did that, considering how flirtatious English has been much more, even when it doesn't even exist. So it's interesting. It's interesting how there are some differences between the English and the Japanese. So that was an interesting episode, a very pretty episode, thanks to the lighting. So let's get into the review. Yasumu, to rest. Yasumu, zuibun, so considerably, very. Zuibun, hayai, so early, it could be fast, but here it's early in the day. Hayai, chodoi, so perfect, just the right time or size. Chodoi, machi, so waiting, wait, machi. So this is the noun of the verb matsu, machi. Nakayoku, so to get along with, to make good friends. Nakayoku. Uatsura, so uatsura is the surface or the appearance. Uatsura. Haite shiteru hodo. So haite shiteru hodo is an expression that says a dime a dozen, right? It's kind of worthless. Haite shiteru hodo. Aitsu, so that guy or that girl. Aitsu. Dekiru, so dekita. I've done it, I've finished it. Dekita. Kikaseru, so to let me hear or to make me hear. Kikaseru, so to tell me. Senso, so the war. Senso, eiyu, so a hero. eiyu, atsukai. So treating someone a certain way, atsukai, the treatment. Mainichi, so every day, mainichi. Koro or goro means around that time. Jokyo, so the state of affairs, the situation, circumstances. Jokyo. Kawatteiru, so this means to be different. Kawatteiru. Akogareru, so to yearn after something, to long for something, something that you're aiming for, something you want to become. Akogareru. Hanasu, so talking. Hanasu. Hisashiburi ni, so for the first time in a long time. Hisashiburi ni. Ao, so to meet. So hisashiburi ni ao means to meet for the first time in a long time. Fushigi, so mysterious, or it could be oddly enough for some reason. Wakare, so parting, farewell, or wakare. Basho, so the place or the location. Basho. Unto, so with a great amount of effort or very much. Unto. Hanareru, so this is to be separated from someone or something. Hanareru. And it can also mean to lose connection or to drift away from, right? So, you're separated from someone, you're very distant from each other. Oiwai, so a celebration, yeah. Oiwai. Oshare, so very, stylish and cool. Oshare. Datte, so the casual way of saying demo, even. Datte. Fuku, so your clothes. Fuku. Yoi, so a preparation or arrangements. Yoi, so often yoi suru. Doyu, so what kind of. Doyu. Otona-poi, so otona is a adult and then poi is like, so adult-like or mature. Otona-poi. Otagai, so each other, right? Each other, both of us. Otagai. Toshi totta, so to have aged in a person, right? To get old. Toshi totta. Tsuri ao, so here it could be an equilibrium, to be in harmony, or for clothes it would be to match, to look good together. Tsuri ao. Erabu, so to choose, to select. Erabu. Tanoshi, so fun, enjoyable. Tanoshi. Keikaku, so your plan, right? So tanoshi keikaku, your fun plans. Kibun, so your feeling or your mood. Kibun. Mottainai, so it's just a waste. Mottainai. Naisho, so a secret. Naisho. Itterashai, so have a good day, see you, take care. Itterashai. Gokigen, so this is to be in good spirits, in a good mood. Gokigen. Betsuni, not particularly. Betsuni. Futsu, so just normal. Futsu. Yaru janai ka, so not half bad, you can do it, huh? Yaru janai ka. Ikao, so here is to be all smiles, just ikao. Korekara, so after this or from here. Now that kanji is not often used, however, there you go, that's what it is. Korekara. Kongo, so from here on, hereafter. Kongo. And the last one, sakibarai, to pay in advance. Sakibarai. Okay, so that was a big one, so hopefully you learned some new language. I think everyone should have learned some new language in this one. There was some interesting language that is kind of, phrases and stuff. So hopefully, no matter what your level is, you learned something interesting in this lesson, or, learned more about the certain scene between Cloud and Tifa. So that's it for the review. Let's get into the quiz. Good luck, everyone.
うん、毎日ニュースを見てた。
憧れていたような仕事はなくて、神羅のために働くただの
そうだ、再会のお祝いしよう。うんとおしゃれして。
服あるのか？
お互い年取ったもんね。 私と釣り合う服を選んでね。楽しい計画っていいね。マーレさんには内緒。そう？別に普通だよ。
今後の分まで先払いしとく。頼んだよ。
Yay! Congratulations! You have now finished episode 24 of Game Gengo for Final Fantasy VII Remake. So now we have hit 1,100 words. So boom, we just hit 1,000 last episode. Now we're at 1,100 already. So congratulations everyone on that. Hopefully you learned some new language. I think probably everyone learnt some sort of new language in this episode because there was some interesting phrases that were done thanks to Marl, but there was also a lot of really useful and important daily language in this episode, so it was a nice mixture. So thank you very much for watching everyone. As always, an enormous thank you to all of the supporters on Patreon. Thank you so much. And it's also just really nice chatting on Discord, helping you guys out with Japanese questions, seeing each other, talk in Japanese, share things, get resources together. It's just a fantastic place. It's my favorite place to spend time. So thank you very much for being a part of that and creating that place. It's just such a great place to go. So thank you very much everyone for watching, and thank you for all of your support. I hope you've been enjoying this channel. There is still so much left to come. I have so many games I want to cover, so many different videos, so many different guides and stuff, so hopefully you like what I continue to make. So thank you very much for watching and all of your support. As always, if you like what you saw and you haven't already, please like, subscribe and share the video. It really helps me out. Thank you very much everyone. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you again next time. See ya.